Alright, this is going to be another example of the P&ID flow path generator. That's in triangle 5. This triangle show that the cases when you have multiple, well, P&IDs, they are related to other in terms of flow path, where a flow goes from one P&ID to the other. And I have set up an example where these P&IDs are linked together in this triangle 5 functionality of the P&ID flow path. So we open this up and we got the P&IDs like before. Now I'm going to give an example of a flow path. We can load it. It's a pre-made one that I will demonstrate how it can be used. So we go to harvest train. This is just a simple several steps. At the top here you got all the P&IDs and you can click on them. As you click on it, it turns green, and they are in one way or the other linked to each other. So for example, over here you got a Wi-Fi tank. It goes through here, and you can easily toggle it, right? So let's say you close this, and then as you can see when you go here, it's supposed to be used into a tank here. As right now you see there's no flow path. I have shown an example of this in the past with filter pods. So let's do that. Oops, I think I did not open the valve. Let's open it. So now there's flow path into here, and from here you can see that goes through here, and you can follow it. Goes through here, and this is the filtration skid. Right, from the skid it goes out to a transfer panel. Right, and this is basically U-bend, a connector that if it's connected, you'll show a path through there. So you connect the U-bends and it goes through here and right through there. So we'll go through it. We'll reset the flow from the beginning. So in this table here you can see you have different sections that you can set up. I set up initialize, where it resets everything to a known state, and for this part it just basically set up the various tanks valving arrangement, and then you start the transfer from this section onward. So it starts from here. As you can see, there it sets to that, and then you activate this tank 51031, right? So it circulates and provides up to 4 users, and if you scan through all these other P&ID, you can see what state they're at. Right now none of them are doing anything, right? So now next thing is you are filling tank 50101, which is here, and I'm going to toggle it. So when you set this, you notice that I didn't do that. Let me do that again. From going forward, you'll see the differences. Let me see if I can just go back to activate. Right, so if I go to activate and set that as a default, so we start from this, right? Activate it. We come here, we can scan through it. Now we're going to fill in tank 50101. So when you go 50101, you notice from step here to here, these two valves were opened, and this valve was open. So it will span through multiple P&IDs when you go from one step to the other, and by selecting the show difference, you'll indicate what's the difference from one flow path to the other. So in this step here, you notice that nothing's happening. No change here. No change here is actually in 58011. What happens here, we're just setting up the flow path right here for it to flow into the hover filtration tank. And then these are not tank, hover filtration skid. So selecting this, what happens is for me to show we set up the pods, the pods here, as well as the valves on the filtration skid. This one basically makes sure that this is connected, and for this last one you set up this valve for open flow path. So now we're going to start to flow into the pod and see how that looks like. Select that. So if we go back here, nothing changed here. It's still being filled into here. Of course, this is not realistic. Ideally, this is, I believe this is the buffer tank. You probably add buffer and Wi-Fi, and together you'll transfer out. So when you transfer to the pod, what happens is these valves are opened up and flow. Now you see the flow through here, right? Through there. And this is already set up through the pod, through the pods, in and out and into drain. So if we look in here, you could either select here, this is how it's set up, comes out here, and then the way this works is basically it's going to prime this filter, but this filter is stage 1. So you can see it. You open up this valve, open up this, you prime it. Once it's primed, you go to stage 2. So there are a lot of calculations. So stage 2, you open this, right? And there's no floor here yet. And then hopefully we see flow through here when we select, well, it doesn't matter where we select it. Let's say we go to next filtration, it goes through here, right? And from here you can then see it goes into this tank, and then after that transfer stops, right? So when transfer stops, you see the line go away. There's no more going to here. Pods, it's all gone. But if you want to see what happened to stop the transfer, there we go. We close this valve, and then we close this valve as well. So we can, in theory, from here, if when we're ready to, we then can export all these out to a PDF and then distribute the flow path for everybody to see. Let me pause it and print it out, and then come back after it's done, because there are, for example, there are 8 graphics for each step. Each flow path you'll print out 8 times. It's probably excessive, but that's the way it's designed to work for now. So hold on. Alright, and we finished printing. Basically, for each one of these steps or flow sequence, we have 8 printout of the P&ID, and I got to print it here. I'm gonna open up with Microsoft Edge, and this is what it looks like, and we can go through it and how it looks like. So remember, in the beginning, this is where are we? We initialize it. we put an initial state where to get there from previous wherever we were at, we basically close these, set these values to an initial state. That's basically everything are closed. So you print up to 8 of them, which ends with this graphic. So the next step, we activate the the Wi-Fi that circulates. By opening this, you can see it, the differences. I think everything else stayed the same. Nothing else changed. And the next step, what we did was we set up the tank. We filled the tank by opening this valve, opening these two right into this tank, and everything else is the same. So the next step, we fill the tank, we set up the flow path, which I believe are these here, as shown by the difference. Everything else stayed the same. Then from there, we set the pod filters, which is basically here, shown in green. This is the filtration skid, and these are the pods. That's for this step here. Pod filters, and then we enable the switch, which is basically next sequence that starts from here. So from here onward, the only difference is that we enable the switch, which is here as shown. Everything else stays the same. So the next sequence is basically, I think, opening up this valve, and we'll see that. And everything else in the other P&IDs stays the same, right? And then we flow path to the pods. So to get flow path to the pods, what we did was open up these 3 valves, then I got the flow going through here, from here through up here and into here, your filtration skid, into this header, into the various pods, and come back out, and then flow through out here, out of the line, and into drain. And then the next step is we prime stage 1. So again, this is the beginning. We see the flow into the vessel, and this is flowing out from the vessel into the pods. Before it was going to drain, so we close that drain valve, then we open up this valve to do a filtration, priming of stage 1 filter. And then the next step is to do the next priming of the next filter, where everything else still stays the same. Again, it shows the differences. And the next step is carry out the filtration. Now to carry out the filtration, what do? We go through here, and through the pods and stage 1, stage 2 filters. We open up this valve. It looks like we open up these 2 valves and close this one, and go through the transfer panels and into the tank. And the last step, we stop the transfer. We close this valve that goes into here. We close this valve, and then the flow stops. It completes. So this is just an example. It's not realistic or whatever, but it's basically to show that when you want to show process that span multiple P&ID, this tool will be able to do that. And again, the benefit would be it's a live digital data that you can change, modify, and update at will, which in my opinion makes it useful. Thank you very much.